So for the H3BO3, we have the X sub 3, where we have one atom of boron. We don't have any sulfur. We have 3 atoms of hydrogen and 3 atoms of oxygen. Plus H2S. So plus X sub 4. No boron, 1 sulfur, 2 hydrogen, no oxygen. All right, so this is our would-be balanced equation, depending on what x1, 2, 3, and 4 are. All right, so we want everything on the same side. And the thing is, and so this is what you got to be prepared to do for the test. If a question like this comes up, hint a question like this is going to come up. You want to get everything on the same side, so you're going to show that step. Because think of it this way. If you're allowed to use a calculator for a question, and in some cases even expected to use it, then the goal of the question is not for you to demonstrate knowledge of reduced oral echelon. It's the setup. I want to see all the steps that led to what you typed into your calculator. All right, so be very careful about that, because from this you could jump right to what you would type into the calculator, hit enter, get answers, and then in a 10-point question, you're wondering why you lost 7 of them. And so it's not plug and chug. So show every step, especially, and by the way, the format is that there's going to be 6 questions. You can omit 1, but each question pretty much has its own page. So I give you plenty of space to write all the steps. So write all the steps. All right. So X sub 1, 2, 3, 0, 0. X sub 2, 0, 0, 2, 1, minus X sub 3, 1, 0, 3, 3. Now, if you want to combine a little mini step here, I'm okay with it, where you negate instead of writing it out as a separate step. We're bringing it to the other side, so that makes it negative. But then we want a linear combination which only involves sums, so we negate the vector. So meh, meh, and of course meh. And then we have 0, 0, 0, 0. It's the 0 vector. All right, so we've written it in linear combination form. All right, so linear combination form. So now we're going to write it in matrix equation form. Which is 2, 3, 0, 0. 0, 0, 2, 1, negative 1, 0, negative 3, negative 3, 0, negative 1, negative 2, 0, against x1, 2, 3, and 4 equals all right, so that's our matrix equation form. Parametric form is when you have x1, 2, 3, 4 as a vector in terms of the linear combination. So no. We'll get to the vector form in a few minutes. And there is a question on the test that specifically says to write something before you do any work, write it in matrix equation form first. That's
When
true.
you make all the steps, you need these steps here to get out the points. Like
Yeah.
I can't just go to the AX equals 0 augment the matrix from the first one.
Correct. All right, so now we're going to go into augmented matrix form. I'll leave it up to you. You could go also coefficient matrix. So, if you go augmented, represent it this way. If you go coefficient matrix, you should leave off that last column of zeros. Either way, you're going to get where you need to go. Four by five matrix, so that works. Based on a little continuity from the previous question. All right, data's in. RF ref action. In theory, the last column would be zeros anyways, so just make sure. If it wasn't, then something went horribly wrong, which is not the case, so that's good. All right, so parametric form. All right, so now this is, we have x1, x2, x3, and x4. There's no x5, that's the zero matrix. So in the case of x of 1, it would be 0 plus 1 over 3 x of 4. Right, and you could do that for all the remaining ones too. But if you want to jump right to the parametric form, x of 1, 2, 3, and 4, each one would be, in theory, in terms of x of 4, or each one x1, 2, and 3. So we could write it as x of 4 times 1/3, 2, 2/3, and 0. That should, just give it a quick double check. This is one area where I'm happy to let you skip a little bit of a step. I don't need you to write each individual solution equation out just to put it in parametric form. I screwed up. X4 equals x4, thank you. Because x4 is free. So maybe I should write it out. All right. And so now all we have to do is come up with a solution for x4. So we would let x4 equal 3, which makes everything, because again, we're not splitting atoms here. So x4 equals 3 would allow us to come up with a solution that's in terms entirely of whole numbers. So 1, 6, 2, 3. And remember, the way we defined it, BSHO. Right, so we just have to write our balanced equation out, which kind of requires that we have the balanced equation or unbalanced equation somewhere. Let me just snag that right quick. Oh, actually, no, sorry, these are the weights. It's x1, x2, x3, x4. So this was my x1, or well, this is the matrix associated with x1. So x1 times b2s3 would give us one of those, 6 of these, 2 of these, and 3 of these. And then that would be a balanced equation. All right. Try to make things look too fancy and I end up screwing it up.